Let's see if I can do this. Okay, here I am back after just having my second baby in the middle of January. So this is going to be a really chill video because I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of things. I've been back to my editing job for just over a month now, and that's been going really well. So I'm like, okay, it's summer now. Calvin's done with school for the summer. We have a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more time, and I'm so excited to get back into making vlogs. So let's get started. Today I'm just doing a quick book haul video of sorts, kind of. And I'm just excited to chat about books again for a while. So let's go past some more books. Okay, I have a giant stack of books here that I have recently acquired. I'll try to lift them up and show you. Oh goodness, okay, I'm not going to try to lift them up right now because there's just a lot and they're going to fall everywhere. So I have some books that I just got for my birthday from my mom as a fun little gift, and then some books that I've just borrowed from my neighbor for the summer, and then also a book that I just borrowed from my mom. So let me start with this little stack here. These are some books that while I was in Texas just barely, I was just visiting my family for about a week and a half with my two little boys, and my birthday fell during that time, and so my mom, she stopped by a secondhand bookstore and found a bunch of books that she just figured I would enjoy having on my bookshelf, and they were really cheap, and so she grabbed them for me, and I was really excited about these. So we have A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine okay, I don't know how to say her name. L'Engle. I remember reading this, I think I read this book back in probably elementary school. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've looked at this book, but it's just like one of those classics, right? It has a Newbery medal, so I'll probably reread this with my kids sometime when they're like old enough. So excited about this one. And then we have Frindle. I remember loving this. A lot of the books actually by this author. I remember the school story and the report card pretty well, and I think I read The Janitor's Boy too. I think that's all that I realized. But anyway, I loved Frindle. It's such a cute book. It's about like a boy who his teacher is very passionate about the dictionary and using words in the dictionary, and kind of on a whim one day he decides to make up a word and make up the word Frindle for a pen, a ballpoint pen. And his teacher is like livid that he and his friends are calling this pen Frindle, but it eventually becomes such a big deal that he actually gets the word in the dictionary, and it's just a really fun little story, and fun to have a story kind of about words too. I also got Mr. Popper's Penguin. I don't remember ever reading this before, but it also has a Newbery Honor Award. It's not very long, but obviously meant for younger kids. So this will be fun to read with my kids someday. Must be good. I don't know anything about it except that there's somebody named Mr. Popper and he has penguins. My toddler is talking. Okay, I also got the Phantom Tollbooth from her, and I read this actually just a few years ago. I'd kind of seen it around as kind of one of those like classic kids books that is actually really meaningful, and I loved it when I read it. And I don't know if I can really explain what it's about. Well, it's about this boy named Milo who kind of goes on a strange journey, just kind of a fantasy land that is very, like, everything's kind of about a play on words sort of thing. Anyway, so it's really clever, and good lessons to learn from it, and it's fun. The Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Jester. I'm bad at pronouncing names, I guess. And then we have Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine. I don't know if it's Levine or Levine. I don't remember. All these last names. I don't know why I struggle so much. Anyway, I loved Ella Enchanted as a young girl reading this, and lots of other books by Gail Carson Levine. Why can't I? I love her writing, and just she has great fairy tale adventures that just are so fun. Anyway, Ella Enchanted is a retelling of Cinderella, but it's like the best fantasy retelling of it ever. It's great. Basically, the Cinderella character, Ella, as a baby, she's given a gift by a fairy, but it turns out to really be more of a curse. She's given the gift of obedience. So when her mom dies and her father remarries, and she has the stepmother and two stepsisters who are awful, and they're always commanding her to like do things and clean up the house and stuff, she has to obey them and has to like basically be their servant because she has this gift slash curse of obedience. And eventually, of course, she meets the Prince Charming and all sorts of fun adventures ensue. So it's really, really fun. Okay, this next one is like a stack of books. I have this huge stack of books that my amazing neighbor lent to me. She and her husband are like going to be out of state for the summer because they're doing like some summer sales stuff, and I'd been talking with her about this book, The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Lori R. King, and I mentioned to her that it was like on my book list, and she was like, oh, I have like the whole series. And I was like, oh, it's a series? No way. And so I was like, maybe I'll borrow it from you sometime. And so since they're going to be gone for the summer, I was like, oh, can I like borrow it over the summer so that like hopefully I can, we'll see how much I can read of it. And yeah, so she is loaning these books to me for the summer. And I'm excited. I have no idea how many of these I'm actually going to read. She said that these aren't even all the books in the series. And this one on the bottom, I don't know if it's actually on the screen or not. It's probably not. Oh my goodness. But this one on the bottom, slide it out. This is actually a bunch of like short stories that are, I guess, about these like same characters. So that's fun. But this series is basically about someone who becomes a beekeeper's apprentice and then later finds out that this beekeeper is actually Sherlock Holmes, and she kind of gets roped into solving some mysteries, I guess. That's all I really know about it. And I think the main character's name is Mary. Yeah, Mary Russell. So I'm really excited. I've heard really good things about it. My friend said that some of the books later on in the series get kind of weird. I guess she said some of the like plots and things become sort of like outlandish a little bit. So she said that there are, you know, a lot of the ones in the beginning of the series she really enjoyed, and like certain ones here and there, and that the later ones, some of them get kind of weird or whatever. So I just figured, you know what, we'll just see how much I read, see how much I get into, and if I start to kind of lose steam in the series, whatever, we'll see how much I do. Oh great, now they're gonna be like out of order maybe. Okay, also I've just gotta say sorry for extra background noise. Like I said, this is like a really low-key video that's just whatever. There's like construction trucks beeping right outside my window, and my toddler is like banging on something in the other room when he's supposed to be in quiet time. Like, sorry for the background noise. But here we go. Continuing. So another book that I borrowed from that same neighbor who gave me like that whole series is Thick as Thieves, the fifth book in the Queen's Thief series. So if you've been following my Instagram especially, but yeah, also previous book blog videos, I've talked about this series, and I've had a lot of mixed feelings about the books. Like The Thief was okay, like it was good, but I was like, I felt like I was kind of let down. Like I expected a lot more from it. But then the second book, The Queen of Atolia, was better, but then there was like kind of one aspect or two of it that I was like, oh, I felt let down. And then like book 3 was like so much better. I was really enjoying it, but then like near the climax, there was just kind of this like aspect of it that made me kind of feel let down. And then, but book 4 was great. Book 4 was really pretty solid. So almost all the books of the series so far, there's always been like something that I've been like, oh, this would be really great, except this thing. But then book 4 kind of was the whole package deal. So I'm excited for book 5 and hope that just that the series kind of keeps getting better and better. And I heard that there's a 6th book coming out, or might already be out. I I don't remember details, but I'm excited to read book 5 finally. I don't remember any premise about this book, but I already know like all the characters from the series so far, so we'll just keep going, and I'm excited to hopefully have a good story. Okay, and then another book that I borrowed from my mom this time, because I was just barely in Texas visiting and I brought a book home with me, is Larkrise to Candleford. So my mom and I love reading classics like Jane Austen books, and like I recently read Wives and Daughters, like kind of recently, last October, so not that recently, half a year ago. Anyway, I love classics, and my mom was really the one who like got me into these classics, and we loved like watching like the BBC movies of all these classics together. And a show that we watched together and loved was Larkrise to Candleford. It's the BBC show was just so well done, and I don't know how well it reflects the book, but my mom like got this book. It's a trilogy by Flora Thompson. She got this, I think, after she'd gotten all the DVDs of the show. Anyway, so we watched this show together, and my mom also got the book and was like reading the book, but I never really picked up the book. I mean, I was like in high school, and I guess just had, I think I was probably reading the Wheel of Time series actually. So, but I have really, really fond memories of like sitting in my family's living room and kind of cuddling up with my mom, or we were probably in like different armchairs actually, but we were like all cuddled up in our blankets with our popcorn to like watch these episodes together, and like just the drama was just so on point. So quick like premise, basically there's these two like towns that are close together. There's like this hamlet called Larkrise, and then there's this actual kind of like town, practically a city, called Candleford, and they're just really close together that you can kind of like walk there in about a day or something like that, or half a day. And so this little hamlet and this town, they like the people really kind of know each other and they interact, but there's kind of this distinction of like the town feels a lot more like higher up in society, and the hamlet a little bit lower in society, so there's a lot of like that tension there. And the main character, Laura, she comes from Larkrise but gets a job in Candleford as an assistant in the post office, and so she kind of gets all like the gossip, and so many things happen, and then she has her own love interests, and there's just such good drama. Like I said, so good. So I am just excited to someday read this. I don't know how soon I'm gonna pick it up. It's a trilogy, so there's like 3 books in one here. Just whenever I'm feeling like picking up a classic with a lot of drama, I'm gonna start diving into this, and it's nice and big. It lasts me for a while. One reason that I borrowed this from my parents is because it's so long and I don't know how soon I'm gonna get around to it, and so I felt safe like taking it home with me, not knowing how soon I'll be able to go back and visit them. Like, it's not like I'm gonna finish it in a month and then be like, well, how do I send this back to Texas, right? Like, it's something that will keep me busy for a while. Okay, so there you have it. Those are the books that I have recently acquired. So it's not all books that are like mine to keep, but books that I get to read, and I'm so excited about them. Right now I'm also in the middle of reading Dune and The Bone Shard Daughter. I'll pick them up. Ta-da-da-da! Okay, so I'm also reading Dune and The Bone Shard Daughter. And Dune I'm about that far in, and Bone Shard Daughter I'm about that far in. So I'm gonna try to finish these up so I can get around to other things too, to The Thick as Thieves and The Beekeeper's Apprentice. So, and then I think, oh yeah, and I've also been listening to the Murderbot Diaries on audiobooks. So lots of books going on right now, and I'm not gonna get around to all these books right away, but I'm just so excited to have like so many books. I'm so excited to have a lot of physical books around right now, because I feel like almost every book that I read lately is like an electronic book on my phone, which is good and totally great, but sometimes it's just really exciting to have like a book in my hands. So much background noise, sorry. Anyway, I hope you're as excited as I am to see a bunch of books, and I feel like I just have like the longest book list, which a lot of us do, but it's just exciting to like get more books and be like, oh, I want to read this one and this one and this one. Like, it's, in some ways it's almost overwhelming, but also just like so exciting. I would love to hear what kind of books you are reading right now, if you maybe have gotten any books recently that you're so excited about. If you've read any of these books that I just got, I would love to know what you thought, what you liked, what you didn't like. Hopefully I'll be back more soon with some of my thoughts and experiences and reviews and more books to talk about. So I'll catch y'all later to pass some more books. Bye!